Right, guys. I know there's been like a million videos on YouTube about this topic, and I just want to throw my hat into the ring. Why is the Nintendo eShop so full of these asset flips and it's just garbage products? Like, genuinely, like, I get like Nintendo's trying to be, and friendly to developers and let, all these indie devs have a chance to shine on their platform with their, millions of users bases and whatnot, the millions of people in their user base, but it's genuinely, who is playing games like this like this brain rot tongue game? And why is there two of them, you know? And as you go through the lineup of games on the Switch eShop, you start seeing more and more stuff. Like, there's this game I saw last night at 1 a.m. because obviously, like every self-respecting game, I am up at 1 a.m. playing video games. And this game is like, it's called like Agent 07, like Revenge, I think it's called. And it's basically a James Bond ripoff. It's already been taken down from the PlayStation store. Like, PlayStation said, no, we don't want this game on our store. Nintendo, hey, come here, buddy. Come on our store. We'll sell your product. And then you go through another little problem with the Nintendo Switch eShop. Hentai. Why? Why is there so much? Like, I mean, if that's your thing, I'm not gonna, shame. I'm not gonna kink shame, I've been with some weird people, so I will not shame you. But I do gotta say, why is there so many games like this on the eShop as well? I mean, I know Steam had like a controversy because Steam had like some really like dark sort of games like that, and I get they got in a lot of trouble because obviously there's a huge backlash. People obviously got the games taken down, but this is Nintendo as well. Like, this is where it gets weird to me, right? Nintendo is the one letting all this stuff happen on their store. Now, it is largely because of the content moderation for, obviously, the eShop. The moderation seems to be non-existent. When you start going through the list of games on the eShop, you'll see a bunch of games that are always on sale, and most of these games are like Hentai World or Tongue Brain Rot Simulator or something along those lines. And it's like, who is buying these, first of all? And if they are buying them, they're probably not buying them for the reasons that you think they'd buy them. They're probably not buying them to play the games like a normal game. In some cases, they're buying these games because they don't realise what they're actually buying. And you got to remember, the Switch and the Switch 2, a lot of people who have access to these systems are kids and parents. So a lot of them may not even understand what some of these words and the titles mean. They may not know, what these games are until then they buy them for their kid and they realise, oh, yeah, we shouldn't have done that, And I don't know, I feel like Nintendo needs to fix this because genuinely, how is it? Like, the eShop for the Switch was launched in 2017, right? And it's the same eShop across Switch and Switch 2. That's a given because obviously backwards compatible and everything. But then you just question, like, if it's the same eShop, why is it over like 8 years have you not fixed the moderation for the games and the content? Now many people get confused and think, I'm calling out Nintendo because Nintendo's publishing these games. No, Nintendo's not publishing these games, but they're still profiting off of them. They're still taking their cut of the revenue when these games go live and these asset flips go live and these, just these games that just shouldn't be on the system go live. Now, I do understand it's a business, Nintendo has to make money, but you do realise that a lot of these asset flips are just like games that are bought, like they bought the assets for cheap on like some thing like Unity, and then they've just like put a skin on them, or not even done that. In some regards, they've just pushed them out and they've coupled together a few levels, and then they've gone, yep, okay, this is our game. They've sold it for really cheap, and obviously they've made a profit. And that's the thing. I understand that Nintendo's trying to be friendly to game devs and like indie devs and whatever, because they kind of got that reputation with the Switch that they were like really friendly to indie devs. But let's be fair, what's going on with the eShop. This is not good for anyone. It's not good for the Nintendo because it means their store is full of stuff that no one actually really wants to play or buy. And in a lot of cases are scam games because obviously they're not actual proper games. Then it's not good for the actual indie devs who obviously have their games overshadowed by these titles that no one actually really wants to buy or really wants on the system. And it's not good for obviously the gamers, because the gamers will probably end up buying a couple of these games, not realising what they are. And when they realise what they are, they're going to be disgusted and obviously trying to get a refund back because they realise the games are either asset flips or they're, softcore corn, all the good stuff, So how does Nintendo fix this? Well, the first thing Nintendo's got to do is just fix the moderation, man. Like, genuinely, how How is it, like, after 8 years, they just haven't fixed that? Like, come on, you're telling me they don't know what's going on? You're telling me they've not seen, like, the countless YouTube videos talking about what's wrong with the eShop? You know, it's just kind of weird. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. Do you agree that Nintendo needs to fix the eShop? Because, my God, there is so much trash on there. There's so much stuff where it's like, how did this even get passed through moderation? Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, like, share, comment, all that sort of stuff. I've been EC, and I'm signing out. Peace.